Reflections built upon reflections and reflections and reflections until at one point there was no longer any way of telling exactly which was the face and which was the reflection. TV says, wash your face for 10 seconds with my soap, and I will present you with a face which will attract husbands, draw you to the spotlight, and put you on the television set. A nice reflection. In a luau club in Oakland, California, the Hells Angels gather around, reflecting upon their black image. Black is seen, black is heard, black is felt, particularly when black is filled. Black is filled when black's a name, when black's a bell, when black's a piece of thing on your gut. Black is noise and roar. Oh, I can't hear it. That's noise. Yeah, I said that's noise. It's the anti-image of United States of America. It's an iron cross. The image of Nazism. And there's a Star of David. The image of dictatorship. That man has a little of a symbol. The image of that far-right violence which may erupt at any moment in our country, the United States of America, to burn. And I am a man who had cousins, uncles, aunts, and lots to burn, to knife, to kill. Yes, the opposite of everything that American idealism has ever stood for. And when I see that, but in the luau club, we find some neon pink kidnapping. There's color. There's a man with neon on his bike. That's unbelievable. That's blasphemy. That man cannot be a Hell's Angel. He has color. He's not black. He's not a reflection. No. He's alive. So we are faced with a strange paradox. The luau club is set up of this anti-thesis of the American society, and outside the American society is saying, down on them. But it turns out that more and more people of the American society are banding together behind this thing in the luau club. And why can it be? There's a pulse, and it's a beating. You can't always hear it, but it's a beating. And that's the Hells Angels, man. Yeah, that's why they're alive. That's why it's beating, 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 beating. Yeah, we're the Hells Angels, and when we ride, we're grooving. Yeah, we're moving. Come on, come on, come on, make it up. We're moving. Yeah, we're moving. Yeah, we're moving. Yeah, we're moving. 'Cause we're alive, 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 alive. And people start to catch on and say, my gosh, man, that's what I can see. That's really happening. They must be doing something. And so they climb onto it. And that's when they cause a reflection of Hell's Angels, until you see Hell's Angels costumes, and you see Hell's Angels dolls, and you see reflections piled upon reflections, until there are no more reflections. There only is just one thing, and that's the thing that is not a reflection. It is an image of some God. Go ahead on. Go ahead on. Go ahead on. Reflection.
gonna have to learn how to see like an owl. Look around you, man, see what you're living with. Look around you and learn to talk its languages. Gonna howl, if you're gonna live out in a nasty world. Gonna howl, gonna have to learn how to howl.
Like the buzz that's
flowery world
of another breed we don't
gonna
talk
live
about. But if
the
you
trees,
gotta get out
you
and you
learn
gotta shout,
to smell
buzz
out
like the fuzz,
honey, honey like the bees.
buzz, buzz like the fuzz.
Oh, if you're living down underneath the deep blue sea as you wish, you can learn to swim like a fish. Oh, if you're gonna burrow beneath the ground in a dark, dark hole, gonna have to learn how to get around like an old blind mole. And learn to howl, 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 howl.
The main purpose of this meeting is to try to prevent violence.
Perhaps the most bizarre incident occurred while newspapers were speculating that the Hells Angels motorcycle gang would attack the Vietnam Day Committee marchers if they attempted to enter Oakland.
So on the Vietnam Day, we've painted the bus a bloody Martian red.
Very tricky business.
And we're on our way to Vietnam Day, wailing along, full of juice and chemicals, and on top of that bus with a guitar and making an electronic song.
Isn't that awful on the street there? Yeah. I'm afraid you'll have to make that trip without me.
I got very loud roar in my ears. Everybody drops a little acid. No sense in going halfway about it.
If the United States gives up on Vietnam, Asia will give up on the United States, and the Pacific will become a Red Sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now proceeding along Oakland Avenue. There's a scene of utter chaos.
Get to Berkeley. None of the Angels have joined us yet. They said they were going to. I wonder where they're at. Where are they going?
Well, I don't believe it.
To hell with it.
Hey, I just want your good conduct, man.
To hell with it.
We get over to where the big scene is, and there's thousands and thousands of, the various beatniks, all the way from college professors down through beatniks, hillbillies, pacifists. And there's a man in there.
That you have to keep going, that you must prove
name is
that
Paul
you are
Jacobs.
right, that you must march.
And
I
he is
say
a
to
pacifist
you,
man
you will
from the
march,
word go. He's
and
a
you will
pacifist
go
man
down the
that's
street
really
of
involved
Oakland,
in it.
and
He's
you
standing
will
up there,
stop, and you will not
and
let
he's
that
talking
force
his
stop,
tail off.
because you have a
We're on the
mission.
bus, we're
You
making a
are
lot of noise.
right.
We've been
You are
singing up
completely
there,
in the
Bomb
right.
Vietnam
You are
boys. We've been
pacifist,
singing,
and
Bomb
you will fight
Vietnam.
for
We're
that.
singing
You will have to,
right
because
down through
you have
Berkeley,
the right
singing
to
Bomb
stop.
Vietnam, boys, Bomb Vietnam.
The hostilities can be ended.
We're on top of this big bus with guns mounted there. Everybody's wearing uniforms. Roy's got a machine gun. He's shooting at him. We got swastikas painted on one side, the zeros, American flag, the whole war thing. Bomb Vietnam, boys. Bomb Vietnam, boys. Bomb Vietnam, bomb Vietnam, boys. Bomb Vietnam. Now blowing gooks off face this world. Bomb Vietnam. And they don't know whether they want to let that bus in there or not. They're not even sure they want me in there who's supposed to speak. But I get in there just as the sun's going down, look up there, and there's this Paul Jacobs up there, and he's coming on
You're
strong.
saying if you're pacifist, then you
He
must
is
march.
just
You must
making
go
an
to the
awful
streets of
racket.
Oakland,
And
and
there
you
are
must not
thousands of
let
people
any
sitting out
police
in front of
stop you
these
because you are
huge
in the right. And when you are marching in the right,
rally
then the whole
speaker
country
sounds.
will stand behind you
And
because
I
you
look at
know
his
that this is wrong
head
for our
there
nation to be at
against
war, and you must fight to set
the
that
horizon
right.
sunset, and I think Mussolini. The tone, the action, the sound, everything. War. The whole thing says war. And I know that you gotta bomb it. Move out of the scene completely. The only thing you can do is
Winners beat the men.
fuck it, man. Fuck it, man. Fuck it.
What?
Fuck it, man. Tear it to ribbons. Fuck it, man. Fuck it.
Hell with it.
You learned that from the angels. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Well, we head on home and wonder where the angels are. They had promised to be up there, and we think, my God, they must feel pretty uneasy having promised to go along and then not showing. That's not like the angels. Not at all. And we're sitting around home there talking about the Vietnam Day, about the thing. And reports begin to come in on the radio.
Station KFJC is now reporting from the Berkeley
the
campus, and
march
we have a
has,
man down
moved
there,
on
Charlie Howard,
up
will
to
come in
Oakland.
and say exactly what's going on with his
15,000
report.
strong. They don't want to get in trouble.
We don't want to do harm because
They don't want to
we
cause no trouble.
represent something noble and fine.
Here's a bunch of people who have the right and say that they want to go someplace, and these cops say, no, you can't go, and these people don't make it.
Well then, we'll stand here and stand here and
So far, they're sitting down with the monitors controlling the marchers.
And one big, ugly devil looks the situation over, sizes it up, and he says, hey, tramp, like that, look at that.
believe.
Tiny, watch it.
There's something happening now.
Tiny says something close on the scene, there's people moving.
There's
What's
a big bit in there. Hey, you bunch of cowards!
bunch of punks.
An angel comes upon the scene. He sizes up and knows what it means. He says, you 15,000, you 250. Anybody let somebody stop me. If I do it, I'm just as bad as he.
Just as bad as he is if I let him stop me. Oh, no, man, that's awful. We could see what happened, like we provoked them into, they had to do it. And Tiny went over there, saw the scene, and click. There's a cop, Tiny, blood running down his head. Looking down, he could eat apples off this cop's skull. Great big grin looking at him.
15,000 tried to march. 15,000 were stopped by 50.
250.
Then 250 pounds of meat came running out on that Berkeley street.
Oh boy, the shit hits the fan. They get a little scuffle there, and pretty soon there's cops there.
And he was swarmed under. He was beat with sticks and he was pummeled down, and they say one cop got underneath and was ground into the street and was beat up on the leg, and his leg was broke. Even though the papers carried it that this culprit Tiny was the one who broke the policeman's leg. What really happened was one cop was beating on Tiny, and he missed and he hit the other cop in the leg, and he broke his buddy's leg.
Sonny says when they demonstrate again, and they're planning to have a big one, boy, there should be a big one this time, that they're going to come out and counter-demonstrate.
Show business always calls for a new act to follow the old. And there's no show business like the show business going on out in the street every day. It's the Hell's Angels that keep that show from falling completely to pieces.
The Vietnam Day boys, they begin to worry about it, and they say, we've got to have some policy agreement. If those guys come out there, there's no telling what'll happen.
2 days before the march took place, the Angels announced that they would stay away from the demonstrators. It now turns out that poet Allen Ginsberg, a friend of the VDC, had contacted author Ken Kesey, a friend of the Angels, and a secret meeting with the Angels was arranged.
So we go up to Sonny's house, and Sonny's house is like a molding goes all the way around, and up above the mantel on the molding sits 3 dogs, collies and boxers, and around there in the bookcase on the top shelf is a sawed-off shotgun and a box of shotgun shells. And in the second shelf, there's one of these black, slick plaster panthers that you win throwing balls in a carnival, and on the bottom shelf is the American flag folded up with the eagle on top of it.
They bought 10 flags. What they decided to do was their counter-demonstration would consist of them wearing buttons that say, support U.S. policy in Vietnam. And then they would carry flags.
What's the Angels doing? What's their bit? Are they working for the John Birch Society? Some people even say there's a deal going. Bang.
How come these guys that the Attorney General of the magnificent state of California, who says that the Hells Angels are felons and criminals and has prepared a report to be filed with every police department in the state?
Contact. What do you guys mean?
At the house of Ralph Barger, the head of the Hells Angels.
You can hear the tone of it changing.
Everybody turned on to LSD.
And then you hear... Ginsberg.
Communion and our rapport, Buddhist hymns about highest perfect wisdom and peacefulness.
Little Jewish fruit in the middle of the Hells Angels. The voice carries it over. The political, rabble-rousing fight sound rises into... We're of one breed. We're of one thing. We may be against each other as far as fascism and Jews and political business in the daily news. The voices rise.
They realized that we were not bad guys. That the VDC was not necessarily a bunch of evil monsters. It was responsible for them not coming out to attack the last Vietnam Day Committee march.
And so they don't show at the Vietnam Day thing that they promised to show. President Johnson says if the bike riders showed, they'd all follow him, not just the Angels, but the Rattlers and the Gypsy Jokers and the whole motley pack of them all over the area would have been there. And it would have come loose at the ends, boy. They've been having an uptight thing with the Spades anyway. After the Spades bombed Tramp's house, burned the house, all his painting, and killed his dogs. He said, well, what can you do, 12-year-old kids? He says, I just couldn't go down to the bar. Everybody else is down there drinking. And I say, man, you won. You blew their trip. We go down to Luau, and there they are sitting around, and they're all high on rage, and they're getting sully, and they're getting drunk, and they're getting meaner looking. And we get out our instruments and begin to play.
Okay, drummer, start moving faster.
We figure we owe them that. And they may be dead, but they won, and it turns into one of the goddamnest parties in the world. The luau, back in the blackest hole you've ever seen. Out in front of the luau, neatly arranged, are all their bikes. Listen out there, hear one. Hawgs coming, man. Hawgs coming. Hawgs.
In a world where everything is placed neatly on the ledge, on a Harley Davidson, the angels ride on the edge. Captain, we gotta send out a special. You don't know where they gonna play your fight. Break my wife, take my life. Put my kids on this motorcycle, take them somewhere. I got